I'm getting ready to turn this over, giving it back to Brian Arrington. Brian, are you with us yet? Hello?
Brian.
What's up?
Hey, Brian.
Hey.
How are you? It's good to see you, Sheena.
And she's gone. They pulled her out of the room.
At least she heard me say it's good to see her.
Yes, yes. Brian, this was a great opportunity and a true honor to be able to host these guests over the past hour. I turn it back over into your capable hands. I will say
Awesome.
uh, thank you for what you and Dr. Smiley and the rest of the team are doing with this Veterans Day potathon, if we want to call it that. And the Voices of Valor. I've been honored to be part of it. Thank you so
Well, I'm
much.
not letting
And
you off that easily. So I heard
oh,
you were a podcast host. Good.
yes, a little bit. I host the Cracking the Rich Code podcast, which is a podcast for authors that have been in the Cracking the Rich Code podcast series. I also have, in the past, I was a co-host of Positive Talk Radio, and I'm getting ready to launch my own podcast called Share Your Fire. And
Awesome.
Share Your Fire is what basically that's my whole thing, and basically helping people to uh, share what they do and their passion and their compassion for others. See, what I realized when I was coming up, I think I mentioned this earlier that I was a bullied, undersized youth in school. And I was made to feel that I was less than others. And when I got out into the workforce and ultimately later on in the military, and I saw bullying type behavior, where people are trying to douse the fire of other people, I just decided that I was going to do what I could to fight that. And when I didn't realize that it was all done subtly. It took me years to realize what I was subtly doing. When I got into the public affairs field and as a journalist as well, what I was doing was helping people tell their stories, helping people get recognition for what they did, helping people realize that what they did mattered and made a difference. And by doing that, they start feeling better about themselves. Their performance level goes up. People around
Yeah,
them kind of see that it becomes infectious and contagious, and it just really
that's
helps people.
incredible.
So
Yeah,
when
that's
I
really
was working
incredible.
in the Navy and then as a civilian in government agencies, and the media wanted information about some program the government was doing or some service that was being provided, instead of putting the appointed officials or the elected officials or the other bigwigs on the media or on the interview, I worked with the scientist, the engineer, the park ranger, the people actually doing the work to give them the credit they deserved. And so that's
Awesome.
what my whole career has been about, has been helping people to learn to communicate better, to share their fire and to share their motivational passion with
That's
others. And so
great.
that's what the podcast is going to be about as well.
All right. Well, thank you for everything you've done this hour. You kept it entertaining. Hopefully, I can do the same. Um,
I know you
so,
will.
yeah, well, we'll see. It's ad libs, improv now, so we'll see.
Improv can be fun.
Yeah. So our next guest coming up is uh, Bardaels. Brenda Bardaels. Did
Correct.
I say it right?
Okay. Yes, you did.
Okay. Awesome. It's really great to have you on this show and talking about what it is that you have done, what you're interested in, how you help people, and some words about patriotism. So, okay, first start with who nominated you?
Yeah, so I was nominated by U.S. Marine veteran Robert Corge. He's a fantastic individual. He does a lot for the community. I didn't get to meet him in uniform, but I got to meet him outside of that while he continues to serve his community.
Yeah, I tried to get him to speak. He had, I think he had like three events today, back to back to back, that he was
Yeah,
going through all through the night. But yeah, Robert's an amazing individual.
he's great. He's great. Yes.
So when did you serve And what branch do you serve in?
So I am actually still serving a medical officer for the California Army National Guard.
Nice, awesome. And when did you start? When did you come in?
Yes, I have a great story about that. So the
All right,
first
well,
time that
you want me to just let you go into your thing?
I can definitely do that, sure.
Yeah, let's do that. That way you can answer that question and go directly in. All right, everybody, Brenda.
Go for it. Yeah, so the first time I truly saw and encountered service members in uniform and up close was when the National Guard was activated back in 2018 on the Big Island of Hawaii after a Kilauea eruption. I got to see neighborhoods disappear under lava. I mean, streets, homes, memories. Everything was just gone. Most of us get to see our service members in uniform on TV, on the news, right? Um, Few of us, unfortunately, encounter natural disasters where we then get to see them in action. Um, One of the places that got run over by the lava was a small beach where my family and I spend nearly every weekend. I can still remember the sound of the waves. I mean, the smell of the ocean mixed with the lava rock, and then suddenly there was nothing, right? Amid the destruction, the Hawaii National Guard was there. They were helping families evacuate, they were delivering supplies and bringing a sense of calm to absolute chaos. Their presence meant hope. And so that was the moment that I knew this is what service looks like, right? And a few months later, I began my own journey to wear the uniform. Fast forward to 2019 and 2020, when the world essentially shifted, right? We all got affected by COVID-19 pandemic. It took a toll far beyond what most of us could imagine or could ever train for. For us in uniform, it looked a little different. The missions changed. The Guard supported testing locations, distributed supplies, greeted terrified families, helped the hospitals that were under strain, right? And that reminded me again that serving isn't just in combat or overseas, it's in showing up when your community is hurting, right? It's serving one another. Because serving your country doesn't always mean war and conflict. Sometimes it's compassion and solidarity. Sometimes it's being there when someone else is scared. And essentially, that's what matters not just for our neighbors here in the US, but also our allies overseas and the families that when they see that US flag, that uniform, they know that there is hope coming, right? Between 2021 and 2023, the missions unfortunately didn't stop. I mean, we were hit with wildfires, floods, search and rescue. We also had some deployments in support of active duty troops and allies as well. Each mission really tested us, but also strengthened our bond as soldiers and citizens. I really realized that I didn't want to just serve at the moment. I also wanted to lead. So I actually extended my contract and took the next step. And that's when I went to officer candidate school so that I could then commission. OCS was definitely one of the most humbling and demanding experiences of my life. And I'm pretty sure of everyone that was in my class, there were nights where I definitely questioned, should I keep going, right? Is this what I meant to do? But every time I wanted to quit, I did remember the families that I saw in Hawaii. I remember my ancestors as well. And I remember the people who once stood where I am today, who shows courage over comfort, like many of the veterans that are joining us today as well. It became clear that we don't endure for recognition, we definitely endure for others, right? We raised our hands to serve others in the community. So fast forward to 2025, a few weeks after my commission, actually days after my commission, Los Angeles County got affected by the Palisades fires. It was one of the most destructive in recent memory. What started as a potential 30-day mobilization turned into a 5-month mission, right? Again, it was unprecedented. It was something that no one could have necessarily prepared for. Over 5,000 National Guard troops were mobilized to assist firefighters, police, and first responders. Many of those National Guard service members were ready to hang the uniform, right? Were towards the end of their contract to then become veterans. So this was their last mission. Some of them postponed ending the contract so that they can continue to serve and support. We cleared debris, we built fire breaks, we supported evacuations, and provided logistical aid to displaced families. I think that event definitely hit close to home, and it was visual for everyone, right? Media was everywhere, cell phones were everywhere. It was very impactful for everyone to see what people actually do in uniform, what soldiers, the way that they get to serve the community in uniform. We also had international partners from Canada and Mexico join the efforts, right? We had their firefighters from Canada, we had some service members from Canada as well as Mexico too. That was a powerful reminder that compassion knows necessarily not borders. By the end of the first month, more than 60,000 residents of Los Angeles have been forced to evacuate. Thousands of homes were lost and damaged. Some of those homes were actually from the same soldiers that were serving that mission. Even today, many families are still rebuilding, and entire neighborhoods bear the scars of that fire. This time it was my turn to serve, to be that steady hand to offer help and hope, just as the Garwans did for my community in Hawaii when I first saw them and had that encounter, seeing them what service looks like. It definitely felt like life had come full circle. As an Indigenous woman, I know that service is also in my blood. My ancestors were protectors of land, people, and spirit, right? We had the Navajo code talkers of World War II to modern day Native soldiers serving across the globe. Our legacy is definitely one of courage, discipline, and honor. When I wear the uniform, I carry them with me. Every prayer, every song, every story becomes part of my mission, and those that get to serve alongside myself and also that got to serve with my ancestors too. It's an honor to serve this country alongside fine men and women who believe, as I do, that patriotism means caring for people, all the people, and building a future worthy of those who came before us. You really don't know how useful you are until you see the fear on the eyes of that person that you are about to pull out from the fireland or from danger, or when you see, a mother handing over their child to you so that you can carry them and take them to safety, right? That trust that a stranger gives you just because you're wearing the uniform has definitely been earned from generation past and from our veterans, that many of them are still standing here today, and many of them we've lost along the way. I also want to thank women veterans who came before me, the trailblazers who broke barriers so that I could stand here today and also raise my hand to wear the uniform. I want to thank the men who have helped me push through those barriers, who believe that I wasn't there to compete, but to contribute, right? I don't serve to be seen as equal, but I do serve to be seen as an asset to the team, a teammate, a leader, a soldier who stands ready to serve this nation with integrity and compassion, just like many of my fellow soldiers, coasties, Marines, you name it, right? I'd like to be part of that team as well, and I appreciate when I'm welcomed into the spaces. So, how do we thank our veterans? Not just with parades or posts, really, but remembering what their service means. When you meet a veteran, know that they didn't serve for medals or awards or recognition. Trust me, no one goes to boot camp thinking, I am about to go get a medal. After this, I'm going to get an award, right? They really don't. What they want to do is serve the community. Each one of us have experienced a moment in time where we said, this is worth my life. This is worth me going to train to risk my life so that others don't have to suffer, right? Um, Although with gratitude, we do accept your gratitude and your thankfulness is very much appreciated. But what matters most is knowing that what they did, what we do, and what we continue to do makes a difference in your life, in your community, that our efforts matter, and that our sacrifices have a purpose. We don't wear the uniform to be heroes. I've never met a veteran who wants to put, or a service member that wants to put the uniform to be seen as hero. That really is not the intent. We wear it because we believe in something bigger than ourselves, in helping, in protecting, and standing up when it's needed the most. So today, as we honor all veterans from every generation, from every branch, every background, every country, I ask you to remember this. Service is not only what we do in uniform. Service is a spirit, one that lives in every act of courage, every gesture of kindness, every choice to stand up for someone else. As I stand here today in gratitude, I carry the same spirit forward because why not, right? Together we carry the torch with pride, with gratitude, and with love for our country and for one another. So thank you to all the veterans. Thank you to everyone who's joined and appreciate the efforts, and happy Veterans Day. So hopefully, Brian, that answered your question.
Absolutely. It was great. Hold on a second. Yeah, really enjoyed that, and you're 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 driving some great mentorship with how you're conducting yourself, and the ways that women veterans really need to be seeing leaders in that space as well. So I really enjoyed that. Um, what's next on your radar? What are you planning on doing in the future? What's your next give to humanity?
Right. So I am pursuing a doctorate. I'm soon to graduate. And my goal is to continue to promote psychological safety, not only on the ranks, but also in the civilian sector, so that people feel empowered to speak up when they have, better ways to perhaps perform something or do a task, but also to elevate each other so that stop seeing each other as competition and more as an allies of a team. Because as you know, two, three people can do better than just one, right? So my goal is to
Absolutely,
bring that community closer, kind of like what we have on the ranks for sure.
I love it. All right, thank you so much for coming on, Brenda.